Hello everyone, TheTyranicalCuber here, and today in this video we're going to be looking at Look OLL, and OLL is the third step of the popular advanced method CFOP. And so the goal of OLL is to orient your edges. Well, orient the top face. In other words, most of the time you're going to be solving white on bottom. So in this case, you're going to have to make the top face all yellow on top. And do something like that. That is not what we're going to be looking at today, because that was full OLL, except I failed. And yeah, what we're going to be looking at today is Look OLL, which is like easier than full OLL, because Look OLL, you just need to know 10 algorithms, while full OLL, you have to know like 52. So obviously you're going to start off with Look OLL and gradually transition into full OLL. And pretty much all the algorithms for Look OLL are also going to be in full OLL. And so this video is mainly going to be looking at finger tricks, memorization techniques, and of course, the algorithms. And so you're going to need to know cube notation. Basically, if I say R, you know that means this. R prime, that, F prime, that, and yeah, you get it. And so basically, I'm going to be showing all the algorithms, showing the finger tricks that I use, and also memorization techniques. And all these algorithms can be, as well as the case, basically when you're going to want to, what the cube is going to look like when you want to use the algorithm. I have a PDF for that, for all the algorithms and cases, and I'm going to have it linked in the description below. And so yeah, let's dive right on in. Okay, so the first step of OLL is orienting the edges, so making a yellow cross. And so for this first case, you're going to see two edges oriented and they are adjacent to each other. And so you're going to want to rotate the top face until one is in the back, one is on the left. And the algorithm for this is F, U, R, U prime, R prime, F prime. And so fast, that would look something like that. And as for memorization techniques, it's really simple. So U, R, U prime, R prime. That's a very prevalent trigger. A trigger is just a small set of moves within an algorithm that just appears over and over again. Like U, R, U prime, R prime is everywhere. And so you're going to be seeing that a lot, so you might as well just memorize it. And it's just the U, R, U prime, R prime is just surrounded by F and F prime. That's pretty easy to remember. And for finger tricks, I like to do my F moves with my thumbs. So F would be left thumb pushing up. U, I use my right middle finger, just push it through like that. R, U prime, I use my left pointer finger. R prime, and F prime, I use my right thumb. So yeah, let's move on to the next case. The next case is going to be this bar. And so if you already know this case from the beginner's method, the algorithm is exactly the same. And so if you don't know, that it's F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And so fast, it would look like that. And so the memorization method is pretty much the exact same as the last one. RU, R prime, U prime is a very prevalent trigger. In fact, RU R prime RU R prime U prime and URU prime R prime, they go hand in hand because they're inverses of each other. And you know that because if you go backwards and opposite, then of one is the other. And so, of course, you just have RU R prime U prime surrounded by F and F prime. And so for finger tricks, of course, like last one, I do my F moves with my thumbs. So F with the left thumb, R, I'm holding the cube like this with the pointer finger over here. U with the pointer finger like that. R prime, U prime with the left pointer, and F prime with the right thumb. Fast, it would look like that. So, yeah, let's move on to the next case. Next case, this is the worst case you could possibly get. The dot. It's where no edges are oriented. Now for this, you just combine the two algorithms. You just do one first, and then do the other one. I don't know which one I actually do first. All I know is that I do one of them first, I turn the top face and do like E moves and stuff, and then I do the other one. On the PDF, I have it in a specific order, and with the specified U moves already there, but you can switch it up. So here, I'm going to do the one with the bar first. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Now I have this case. I'm just going to use the alg for that. I'm just going to skip the finger tricks and stuff for this because I did it for the last two, and this should be pretty self-explanatory now that you know it's basically the last two clumped together. So yeah, that's the first step of OLL complete, and let's move on to the second step. Okay, so the second step of Look OLL is orienting the corners. And so I'm going to separate this into multiple mini segments. So this segment is going to be soon and anti-soon. These two algorithms actually have names because they're just really good and really fast. This is the best possible corner. These two are the best possible corner OLLs you can get. So this one is called the soon. You have this cross, of course, and you have one corner oriented. Now, how you can recognize this, you obviously have that, but then if you look at the side, you have one corner, like the yellow piece that's facing you is on the right side. And no matter what, that's going to be true, unless, of course, there is no yellow piece facing you. But if there is, it's going to be on the right side, if it's a soon. And so how you're going to want to orient this is, well, like this, with the solved corner on the front left. And the algorithm for this is R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And the fast, it would look like that. And memorization, basically what you're doing is you're taking this F2L pair out of the slot and you're moving it over, and then you're putting it back in with the U2. And so for finger tricks, just like in the bar algorithm, I position my right hand like this with the pointer finger over here. R, U with the pointer finger, R prime, and then I do the next U with my right middle finger. R, I do the U2 with my left pointer and middle fingers like that. And R prime. So yeah, it's pretty simple. It's one of the fastest algs. And let's move on to its brother, the anti-soon. Now, this may look very similar. You have this little shape. Some people call it a fish. But when you look at the side, the yellow's not there. It's not on the right. Instead, it's on the left. Left, left, and just not there. So how you're going to want to position this is you want to have the solved corner in the back left. And so you're going to want to do R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime, U2, R. So fast, it would look like this. And so memorization techniques, you're basically doing a soon in the back. So you're taking this pair out like that. You're moving it over here, pulling this up and using a U2 to insert it back. Pretty much like a soon, except with this pair. And so for finger tricks, I just do a R like this, U prime with my left pointer, R like that. The R moves are pretty simple. U prime with my left pointer again, and then R prime just pretty simple. And then I use my right, middle, and index fingers for the U2 and basic R. And yeah, that concludes the two fastest corner OLL algorithms. And yeah, let's move on to no corners oriented. Okay, for the no corners oriented algorithms, you have two cases. This is one of them. You have the cross, of course, no corners oriented. And so how you can recognize this is you have what are called headlights. In other words, you have two yellows facing like this in the same direction, like headlights. See? Kind of look like headlights. And you have two sets of those. One over here, and one on the opposite side. And so how you're going to want to position this is you have the headlights facing horizontally. It doesn't matter if they're like this or they're like this. It's gonna solve the corners. It's just that you're gonna get a different permutation of the corners, which really does not matter at this point because, yeah, you're not gonna want to get into advanced stuff like that yet. And so the algorithm is R, U, R prime, U, R, U prime, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. So fast, that would look like this. And memorization, basically, again, you're taking this pair out, you're pushing it over, just like in the soon, you're bringing this up as if to insert it, but instead of inserting it, you're going short. You're not inserting it yet, you're going over, back here, and now you're inserting it with the U2. And so, finger tricks, it's very similar to the soon finger tricks. So you're going to want to have your right hand like this. So R, pretty basic. U with this right pointer. R prime. U with right middle finger like this. R, pretty basic. U prime with the left pointer. R prime, pretty basic. U with the right middle finger again. R, pretty basic. U2 with the left pointer and middle fingers, and R prime, pretty basic. And yeah, the other case is looking pretty similar like this. However, instead of having two sets of headlights, it just have one set of headlights and these two yellows facing in the opposite directions. And some people call them blinkers. I'm not going to refer to them as blinkers. I'm just going to be like, yeah, one set of headlights and this other thing with the yellows facing opposite directions. And so you're going to want to position this so that the headlights are facing left. The algorithm for this is R, U2, R2, U prime, R2, U prime, R2, U2, R. Fast, that would look like this. As for memorization techniques, you're bringing this pair up, using U2 to get it out, R2, and now you're taking this pair out with U prime, but you're not putting this pair back in. R2 back to insert this pair back in, R2 over there, and now you're inserting this pair back in with U2. And as for finger tricks, I start off with my right hand something like this. I do the basic R. With the U2, I use my two right, middle, and pointer fingers, like that in a flick. And I continue on the R2 like that. It's okay that my right hand is sort of like out of position because I'm not going to do any U moves with them. Because for the U prime, I'm going to use my left pointer. And now, I turn it back in the R2. I don't regrip. Like, I don't do something like that. I keep my hand like this, and I just turn it back. And U prime again with the left pointer finger. R2, I'm turning it back like that. U2 with the left pointer and middle fingers. And R. Just like that. And so yeah, those are the only two no corner oriented cases. And so now let's move on to the two corners oriented cases. Okay, so for these two corners oriented cases, there are actually three cases. Yeah, more than the usual. And so the first case is you have like this giant block along with this edge, and you have some headlights. And so you're going to want to position the cube so that the headlights are facing towards you. And so you're going to do R2, D, R prime, U2, R, D prime, R prime, U2, R prime. And so fast, that would look like this. And for memorization, so this is the only algorithm you're going to need to know that has a D in it. So how I remember it is, first move is going to be R2, because you're going to want to get these out of the way for your D move, because you're not going to want to mess everything up. You want to preserve these pairs, in other words. So R2D. Now R prime, because you want to take this pair out, and U2, you want to put the pair over there. And R, restoring all of this. D prime, to restore this entire block. R prime, getting ready to insert this back in with a U2 and restoring everything back with this R prime. And yeah, on to finger tricks. So the finger tricks I use, so I do this R2 like this. That's actually how I do pretty much all of my R2s. And then D with the left ring finger back here. I just do a D like that. R prime, just bring this back down. And U2, I use these two fingers, my right, middle, and pointer fingers like that. R back up, pretty easy, standard. And then for the D prime, I use my right middle finger and I push it along like that. And R prime, pretty basic. U2, I use my right pointer and middle fingers like that. And R prime. So that's it. Moving on to the next case. This next case is going to look very similar. You have the same block. You have this edge. But instead of headlights, you have these two facing the opposite direction. And so how you're going to want to position this is you're going to want like this edge kind of arrow facing left. It's going to be pointing left. And for this, you might be wondering, why in the world is that R lowercase up there? Well, you see, little r means instead of going like this with the R, you bring the middle layer along with it. So little r is like this, little r prime is like that. And so that's that. So you're going to want to do little r, u, r prime, u prime, little r prime, f, r, f prime. Fast, that would look like this. And for memorization, you have the basic RU, R prime, U prime. Except the first R is a little r. So instead of doing this, you have this. And for the next bit, you have another common trigger. Except, of course, the first one is a little r. So you have so what you're actually doing is you're inserting this piece, these two pieces back in over here to reform this block. You're moving it off to the side with that F. You're bringing this back, thus restoring all of this. And you're restoring the rest of this. And so that's also a pretty common trigger. It goes like that. R prime, F, R, F prime. And so for finger tricks, like the RU, R prime, U prime, I start off with my fingers like this with my right pointer like that. Little r is very similar to R in terms of finger tricks. So I just do that, basic. And then U with this pointer finger set up over here. R prime, now I basically like slide my fingers back a bit so that I don't accidentally do a little R prime. So R prime, U prime with this left pointer finger, of course. Slide my fingers back in with this little R prime. F, here I don't use my thumb because my right hand is just in the perfect location to do the F like this, pushing down with my middle finger. R, just really basic, going up. And F prime here, I do use my thumb, my right thumb. And that's that. And moving on to the final case. This is what I call the bow tie, because if you orient it like this, it kind of looks like a bow tie. And so how you're going to want to position this is you're going to want to rotate the top until the piece over here in the front right, the yellow is facing towards you. And so the algorithm is F prime, little r, U, R prime, U prime, little r prime, F, R. So fast, it looks like that. For memorization, you start off with the F prime to get it so that all of this is in that layer which the little r is going to be turning. So you do that. and then you do U to insert this block back into here. R prime, restoring this block over here. U prime, and little r prime, and now you're restoring this center over here, this block, and preserving this block. F to restore this block, and R to restore everything else. And for finger tricks, of course, I do this F prime with my right thumb, and my hands like this. And this puts me in position to do the little r prime U with my right pointer finger. And R prime, just pretty basic like that. U prime with the left pointer finger, of course. R prime, just continue going like that. F, here I use my right middle finger again because it's just the perfect opportunity again. So I do that. And then pretty basic R, just bring my hand back up. And that concludes everything. All the algorithms, all the finger tricks, all the memorization techniques, done. Now you know to look OLL. And of course, I'm not expecting you to just memorize these algorithms first time through. It takes time. I think it took me maybe a week or two to memorize these. So it's going to take time. If you need to go look at the algorithms again, that's not a problem. Rewatch the video or look at my PDF, which, like I said in the beginning, is linked in the description below. And that has all of my algorithms. So yeah, as well as the cases. It's really organized. I made it myself. And these are just the algorithms that I use. There are other algorithms out there for each of these cases. It's just that I personally think that these are the best. And there are other pretty good ones. You can use those. So yeah. Stay tyrannical, my loyal subjects, and farewell.